Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. We've got the Kings back in action tonight against the Miami Heat. No De'Aaron Fox. We'll talk about that. The NFL regular season is in the books. We've got the playoffs to look forward to beginning on Saturday with the Chargers and the Texans, followed by the Steelers and the Ravens. Then a day later, Denver at Buffalo, Green Bay at Philly, Washington at Tampa. And then you have the Monday night game with the Vikings and the Rams. So we can talk about the NFL. We can talk about the Kings. You can hit me up on the show. Would love to be able to talk to you if you want to call. It is very easy to do. Here is your link for calling the show. You got the QR code above my shoulder, whatever is easier for you. So give me a shout and we will get you right on. All right. Again, NFL playoffs. And you look at the games that are always fun, and I'll start with Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I don't like the way the Steelers ended the season, that's for sure. I mean, losing 4 straight. I mean, wow. Not a good way to lose at the end of the season. That is for sure. But I can't put anything past Mike Tomlin, but they're going to have a tough time winning with the way they're playing at Baltimore. So I think that's a very intriguing game. I think Green Bay at Philly, assuming that Green Bay is healthy, will be an intriguing game. And I think the Vikings, I think all the games actually, with maybe the exception of Denver and Buffalo, I think Washington and Tampa could be close. Sam Darnold was terrible yesterday, absolutely terrible against the Lions. He'll have to play a hell of a lot better to go and win on the road in LA. So hit me up. You've got the QR code. You've got the link and everything else. My opinion on Daboll and general manager Joe Schoen coming back, I would have brought him back for one more year too. At this point, I think it would be a mistake to completely change course and go in a different direction. All right. Texans are coming in week 2. That is very true. I'm not sold at all on Texans. I think the Chargers very easily could win that game. So I think when you look at the NFL, how many teams could win the Super Bowl? Kansas City, we know, can win it. Could I see Buffalo winning it? I mean, I could. They got their history working against them. So could I see Baltimore? Lamar Jackson's got to prove to me that he can play in January. So, I mean, I just can't ignore that. In the NFC, Detroit, Philly, I could see Green Bay winning a couple of games. I would be very surprised to see Washington or Tampa win 3 games. The thing with the Vikings, Darnold's got to play a lot better, but their defense is very good. The Rams, with their experience, the thing's wide open. The NFL playoffs are wide open. All right, Kings tonight in action. Ryan with the pregame show. Jerry Reynolds joins us at halftime. And then we will have the postgame show as the Kings try to go within a game of 500. Busy night in the association. A lot of teams playing, which will change the standings in the Western Conference due to head-to-head competition. You got Phoenix. They're on the road in Philly. They're down by 4 early. And then, you look at the games that are going to affect the standings. San Antonio is at Chicago. Dallas is at Memphis. Both teams really banged up there. The Clippers are in Minnesota. But again, the Kings and the Heat. Dave, thank you very much. Says, I am wearing your merchandise right now. It's good quality. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. You can go to the website, if you don't like that.com or grantnapier.com, and you can check out the team store and the merch. So thank you very much. Shouldn't say team store, Grant Napier store, What do I think of Devin Carter? I haven't seen him enough. Good defense. Offense is going to be a work in progress. That's what I would say in a nutshell. Yes, I did mention that to open up the show. Thank you very much. But as far as Carter, very good defensive player. And I think offensively, as I said, It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. All right, let's get to some phone calls, and we say hello to Zach. Hello, Zach. Zach, how are you? Zach. All right, Zach's got camera shy there. All right, as far as this rotation now, Miami is not playing well. They're coming off a horrible home loss against the Jets. I think it's good that Miami's out of town. I think they're probably very happy to get out of South Florida with the situation about Jimmy Butler. It's better to go away. Better to go away. You definitely do not want to be at home dealing with the Jimmy Butler distraction. So I think it's better for the Heat to go on the road. We'll see how they fare. I think the Kings are going to win tonight. They didn't play a lot of minutes last night. Earlier game, travel's a non-issue. I expect Sacramento to play well tonight. I really do. Am I worried about my credibility if Doug continues to win game? What are you talking about? Unbelievable. Riley, Ravens are coming in hot, but agree Jackson needs to step up. History working against him. He's normally plays all right early in the playoffs. It's when you get the championship games like last year. That's the issue. I mean, exactly. Thank you for this. Lou's got to stay off the bottle or whatever the hell he's doing. Baltimore, Derrick Henry has given them a whole new look on offense, which to me probably helps out Lamar Jackson greatly, but you're still going to have to make some throws. Like Lamar, if you go back to week 1 at home, or excuse me, at Kansas City, right? And he missed back-to-back throws in the end zone that could have won the game. So I still question Lamar Jackson in the biggest of games. And you look at Kansas City and all they do is win, 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 right? And they didn't lose a game at home this year. So you're going to have to play really, really well to go in and win at Kansas City. And Patrick Mahomes, they just know how to win. I personally would love to see Buffalo and Kansas City. But, I mean, Buffalo's got the history going against them too. No question about that. I think when you look at Buffalo, their year was very solid. Josh Allen's a phenomenal year. I think it's the best year of his career. Do they have enough? Do they have enough? I'd like to see it happen. I think it would be great for that area of New York and upstate New York and those long-suffering Buffalo Bill fans. Wow. Think about 4 Super Bowls, 4 losses. The loss a couple of years ago in the playoffs against Kansas City with the inexplicable kickoff. So, Baki says we are celebrating Christmas. I'm in Jokic's town in Serbia, and we are ready for the Kings. 2 a.m. here, but we are fresh. Great hello for Brother Grant. Baki, thank you, buddy. Merry Christmas to you, Serbians. Good for you. Good job, buddy. Good job. Would it be harder to get Collins or Johnson in a trade? I have no idea. Ask me questions that are answerable. Bills versus Lions in the Super Bowl. I would love to see that. That would be great. That would be great. That really would. There it is. Call the show. Hit me up. You got the link right there. And we'll put you on. Talk about whatever you want. Open forum. Remember that, right? But Flores, you're right. Uh-oh. Having internet problems. That is not good. Sorry about that. Can you hear me? The entire system just went out on me. Can you hear me? Can you let me know if you can at least hear me? Could someone let me know if you can hear me? You say I'm frozen, but all right, I'm back. Can you see me? We're all good. I don't think I'm back, but as long as you can hear me, we'll do the show. If you can't hear me, then I won't do the show. But I just had a complete internet hit, and everything's kind of messed up. All right, you can hear me. All right, good. Thank you for that. I'll still do the show, even though you can't see me, which is probably a plus that you can't see me. Consider that like a blessing. I always think of that as a positive. If you can't see me, I always look at that as a real positive, not a negative, but a real plus. So I'll still do the show, even though you cannot see this beautiful face. No problem. All right. So what do you want to talk about today? Let me know. All right. What is it that you want to talk about? Kings, ask me some questions. Do you want to talk about the NFL? Anything else that you want to talk about, hit me up right here on If You Don't Like That. That is really weird. I had that complete power surge here, and now my camera, I cannot get back on. So sorry about that. Hopefully we'll be good to go for when the Kings play the Heat tonight. But again, if you can't see this beautiful face, it's a real shame. 2002, do we win Game 7 if we hit our free throws? Yes. 14 missed free throws in 2002. Absolutely. I would agree with this. If the shot works for him and it goes in, then don't complain. That's true, but that hasn't really happened yet. Very true. What do I think of Tyreek Hill comments after the game? I think Tyreek is a very unstable person emotionally based on his history. I think the guy is maybe the most talented receiver in the NFL, but I think his elevator on a good day goes up to about the 8th floor, and he's a 15-story building. That's how I would characterize Tyreek Hill. Do I think it's a given that we should trade Fox? I don't think it's a given, but I think it's more likely than unlikely that it would happen. Rich wants to know Steelers, Baltimore. I can't go against Baltimore right now, especially with how bad the Steelers ended the season. Offensively, they're not able to do anything. So I got to go with Baltimore. Just think this is like doing your old radio show. Good times, Grant. I agree with you, Dave. How do I see tonight's game playing out? I think the Kings will win because I think they match up very well right now against Miami without Jimmy Butler. So I don't think that playing last night is going to be that big of an issue. I know the Kings don't have Fox. I don't expect the Kings to score 140, but I think they'll win the game. I like the way they match up without Jimmy Butler in this game. Bruce, why are we going back 25 years ago, Bruce? Help me out here, buddy. Gerald Wallace wasn't going to play with the Kings. See, they had Peja and they had Hito. Can the Kings take down the Celtics? Worry about tonight first, Rich. I think when you look at the Kings, to me, I'm going to make an analogy. They're like a baseball team right now where everyone was in a slump and now everyone's hitting the ball. That's how I look at it. Okay. So to me, everything is good right now because everybody's making shots. And when you make shots, life gets a lot easier when you make shots. You know, I mean, that's the basketball is about, it's pretty simple. Make shots or you don't make shots. And when you make shots, you're going to win a lot of games. And collectively as a team, they're making shots. Patrick says it's a little early, but can you see Kirk Cousins on the NFL market to a team like the Jets or the Giants? No, because both of those teams are in a rebuild looking for the future, and Kirk Cousins would be a Band-Aid. So for that reason, I don't see it happening. I think Kirk Cousins showed everyone this year, outside of the system in Minnesota and coming off the injury, that he would be a risk to acquire at his age. Anyway, do you think Mike is still cheering for them? Mike Brown? No, I don't. If I were a coach, would you put a number of how many threes to take per game? No. How does making Doug Christie the coach all of a sudden make players hit shots? It's just a mentality. It's first of all, let's also go back and look at this, okay? They lost to the Lakers. They beat Dallas with nobody, and it was a dogfight, okay? No Luka, no Kyrie, no Clay, no Likely, all right? And it was a dogfight. Then they're losing by 9 points with 3.5 minutes left against Philadelphia, okay? Remember that? Looked like they were going to lose. And the Kings ended the game on, what was it, a 16-0 run? And from that point, they have not cooled off. That, to me, was the turnaround, that 16-point run to end the game against Philadelphia. Maybe it was 13, so whatever it was. But I think it was 16. They're down, what was it? I want to say it was 102-95. Maybe 103-95, whatever. They were down, and then they made a tremendous comeback. You know what? I am not doing the Crowd Ultra. I did that for a couple of years, Mark. So that is no longer part of the show. Pros and cons, in your opinion, on Jerry's thoughts about waiting until draft time to trade Fox. Jerry thinks you could get more for De'Aaron if you waited until the trade deadline. Maybe Jerry's right. Jerry knows a lot of this. He used to work trades, and he was the general manager, so he knows this a lot more than I do. Yeah, Philly went 3 minutes. I want to say it was 3:30. 3 minutes and 34 seconds, I think they went without scoring, Preston. I like this. I'm going back 25 years because I was too young to call your show and ask these questions. I'm also upset with the current team. Thank you. I understand. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. What's my New Year's resolution? I can't tell you. You should never tell anyone your New Year's resolution. Keep those things to yourself. I'm not a big resolution guy. I try to live my life the same every year. So it's not like I try to change something for the new year. I just try to live my life the same every year. So I'm not really a person that sits there and talks about a New Year's resolution, right? So, yeah, I'm not one of those guys. I'm not one of these guys. Do you make a New Year's resolution? I can't remember the last time I made a New Year's resolution. Who do I think has a better chance in the playoffs, the Ravens or the Bills? I'm going to say this year, I'm going to go with the Bills. I just like the whole thing. Feelings on the Vikings after their loss. Sam Darnold looked like the Sam Darnold I used to watch with the Jets. Preston, that's my look. That's the look I had. Sam Darnold missed too many open guys. And I give credit to the Lions defense, but Sam Darnold's going to have to play a lot better. He's going to have to play a lot better coming up in the game. against the Rams. If not, as good as their defense is, then their defense is very good. They will not win. Plain and simple. They have to have Sam Darnold play the way he did during the regular season. Hey, don't forget about Bennett's, Sacramento, Roseville, the West Side Grill in Rockland, prime seafood and steak at Bennett's, and their weekend brunch is outstanding. Go to bennettsrestaurants.com to make a reservation. Hey, don't forget about their daily happy hour, 2 to 6. It's awesome. Their sips and taste, great share plates and drink specials, the prices on the wine. Again, that is Bennett's, Sacramento, Roseville, the West Side Grill in Rockland. Go to bennettsrestaurants.com. Don't forget, on the post-game show tonight, I will have a rant with Grant, and it is brought to you by EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. Just go to edhmotors.com, check out what they can offer you. David and Adam, just two guys trying to do something different and better. The location is outstanding. You don't have to go to a dealership. You're not dealing with all of that. You'll take delivery at their auto lounge in the El Dorado Hills Town Center. And here's something to keep in mind. You go to their website and you don't see what you're looking for, no problem. Contact David and Adam and they'll get exactly what you're looking for. That's right. They have decades of experience in the automotive industry. And again, they'll find exactly what you're looking for. Just go to edhmotors.com. That's edhmotors.com. EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. And my rant coming up tonight with Grant. All right, again, if you're just joining me, my camera crapped out. I had a internet surge, and so bear with me. My thoughts on the Giants keeping Brian and Joe. I talked about this for a minute at the beginning of the show or towards the minute, but I would have brought him back too. I would not make a change right now. I would not make a change. Is Josh Allen my MVP over Lamar? I think it's impossible to have just one guy that you can say is your MVP. Like, is there anybody in the league more valuable than Patrick Mahomes to Kansas City, right? It's very difficult to pick one guy. It really is. I think Allen had an unbelievable year. They got a better record than Baltimore. I think Derrick Henry could get MVP votes. I'd be fine if Lamar won it. I'd be fine if Allen won it. Very difficult. Very difficult. If the Giants take Hunter and they have neighbors, someone has to throw to them. Very true. Very true. Best rant ever. Grant sitting next to a chubby on the plane. World class. Thank you very much. I think it was my most popular rant, the fat rant. You know, if you did the fat rant today, you'd probably get canceled by somebody. So, but things are changing. Things are changing. Thank goodness. All right. Again, you've got San Antonio leading Chicago 20-14 early. Dallas has a 7-point lead on Memphis. Let me see who's playing in this game. I want to look at the box score. Both these teams have really been beat up lately. The Mavericks are 20-15. Let me look at the box score of this game. Again, that game is in Memphis tonight. And they got, once again, no Irving. I know Luke is out. They're starting Kleber, P.J. Washington, Marshall, Lively, and Klay Thompson. Meanwhile, from Memphis, I mean, they got all kinds of injuries too. No Ja, no Desmond Bain. Yeah, they're both those teams really hurting. Do I still talk to Charles Barkley? No, not if I see him, obviously I talk to him, but that's it. My opinion, Giants getting Sanders or Ward. I think the Browns taking Hunter. We'll see. We'll see. I don't care who the Giants get as long as they can play. And I really mean that. They have not done a good job of drafting. So get somebody that can freaking play. That's for darn sure. Hey, if you have any plumbing issues, New Works Plumbing's got a fix for you. Go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing, They're awesome, available around the clock. I actually like newworksplumbing.com. I go to that website, newworks, N-E-W-W-R-X plumbing.com. Again, New Works Plumbing, available 24/7 for your plumbing needs and repairs. Don't forget 916-73-1010. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. Don't forget pregame show with Rhino coming up tonight. Halftime with Jerry Reynolds. Postgame show. We take your phone calls. All right? Absolutely. What do I see happening with Purdy and extension talks? I don't see how Purdy doesn't get a big deal with the 49ers. Am I a boxing fan as well? Used to love boxing. Don't watch boxing anymore because I think the sport has just gone down the toilet. I used to be a huge boxing fan. Used to watch boxing all the time. Now, I don't even know who is fighting anymore. They need one governing body. That's the biggest issue that I see with boxing. They need one governing body. Who will the Raiders take? You need to call up the Raiders and ask them. I don't know. I think when you look at drafting, there's a lot of liar's poker that goes on. A lot of liar's poker. And you don't know what to believe and what not to believe. The Raiders are a team like the Giants. They need a quarterback, but they need help around the board. Like, it's not just like one position. They need help in a lot of areas. And then you also have to look at the instability of the ownership with the Raiders and Mark Davis and his history. And so I look at the Raiders and I look at Mark Davis, and I would have no confidence at all that he's going to make the right decisions. It's unfortunate if you're a Raiders fan. You know, you talk about Black Monday in the NFL, right? You look at Doug Peterson fired from Jacksonville. But it's been a Black Monday in Green Bay, learning that their outstanding receiver, Christian Watson, tore his ACL yesterday. That is a big loss for them. That is a big loss. You know, you also saw Jordan Love hurt his right elbow. That would concern me a little bit, but boy, losing Watson going into the game against Philly, that is the last thing you need. Any progress on my court case? Just waiting for the judge to make a ruling on summary judgment, and could be any day. Do I think Aaron Rodgers retires? I think he should retire. I don't know if he will. I don't think he'll play. I do not think he'll play for the Jets. That's for sure. That would surprise me if he plays for the Jets. I don't see that happening. If he does play, I think it will be elsewhere. Hey, don't forget about Sunrise Landing, the newest residential community in Colusa. You go to ColusaSunrise.com. Check out all of their beautiful models. No Mellorews, no homeowners. Good access to I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20. Sunrise Landing from Blazona Development, adjacent to the Colusa Golf and Country Club. Go to ColusaSunrise.com. Check everything out. That is ColusaSunrise.com and beautiful Sunrise Landing. I'm not going to go long today, especially with the internet situation here and everything else, but I definitely want to come on for 30 minutes or so and answer some questions and talk a little bit about the Kings tonight, talk a little bit about the NFL playoffs, which get underway on Saturday. So looking forward to talking a lot of stuff this week as we move on with the NBA and the NFL and college football in the playoffs. Are you watching the college football playoffs? Like, are you super intrigued with that? Who do you think is going to be left standing? Who do you think is going to be left standing? I think that it's intriguing, the 12-team format. I'm old-fashioned. I kind of like it with 4 teams, to be honest with you. Will I ever move back to Sacramento? No, I will not. Do I think the MLS will come to Sacramento? In other words, do I think the Sac Republic will MLS after the new arena gets done? I hope so, but the price tag keeps going up and up and up, and I'm skeptical about that. I'm very skeptical about that. I hope so. I think it would be great. Baki asked, Grant, after you win in court, what will happen next? I never asked you that. I'm coming to Serbia, Baki, and we're hanging out, and we're going to go get a cheeseburger. That's the first thing I'm doing. How's that sound, buddy? You can introduce me to the gang in Belgrade. How's that sound? How did Detroit totally shut down the Vikings last night after being shredded the previous few games? Amazing. You know, what won the game for Detroit was their red zone defense. I wouldn't say they shut down the Vikings. They shut them down inside the 10-yard line. That's when they shut them down. And Sam Darnold had a lot to do with that. Notre Dame versus Texas. My nephew goes to Penn State. That tight end is unbelievable. Reminds me of Kittle. I love watching college football. I really do. There's nothing like being at a big-time college football game. You know, I was at the Tennessee game last year against South Carolina. I've been to a couple of Alabama games. There's nothing like it. Nothing. There's nothing like it. Do I think Aaron Rodgers will go to the Giants? I would say there's no chance of that. It would be a disaster. A disaster. An absolute disaster. You will have burgers and all other stuff every freaking day on my account. No discussion. Thank you, Baki. Appreciate that. We'll have fun, my man. Then maybe we'll pop down to Montenegro and go see Vladi and hang out there for a couple of days. We'll see. All right. Don't forget, pregame show with Ryan, halftime show with Jerry Reynolds, postgame show. Can the Kings keep it rolling and climb up and try to get back into the top 10 in the West? They're currently 11th, 2 games back in the loss column of 10th. We'll see if they can get to within a game of 500 against the Miami team that's not playing very well. Miami comes in 6th in the East, but they've lost 6 of 10. They've lost 2 in a row, and they're coming off a horrible loss at home to the Jazz. Horrible. Yeah. 15 unanswered, not 16. Thank you for the correction there. 330 without scoring. Thank you very much for that. Is this win streak a fluke or we have found an identity? I don't think it's a fluke. I don't think that I wouldn't go that way. I don't know if I would say you found an identity. Let's just call it the way it is. You got extremely fortunate with Dallas having their whole team out. No Joel Embiid and no Kelly Oubre against Philly and no John Moran against Memphis. You got very lucky, but you still won the games. All right? You still won the games. They should beat the Heat without Jimmy Butler. I agree. I think they will win the game tonight. I think they will. All right. Talk to you at halftime with Jerry Reynolds. I'll get everything fixed here and we'll be back. All right. Thank you, everyone.